it's really interesting how those stats tell a story, and there is nobody better in the game of golf than Justin Ray, head of content, 21st Group, that tells stories via stat. I'll just throw it out here. If you're not following Justin Ray on Twitter, you need to absolutely do so, especially during a golf tournament, because you can see everything that you post on your account, Justin, and it just puts what we're seeing in real time in a completely different light. And that's what you're going to be getting to do in real time with our broadcast this week and the KPMG Performance Insight. So tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to this week with KPMG.
Yeah, thank you for all the kind words. Thanks for having me up here, especially with the UW legend here near Old Stomping Grounds. I also want to say, first of all, you're very brave because we're a toad 8-iron away from chaos. But yeah, look, this is a gorgeous golf course, an unbelievable part of the world. We had great drama last time that we were here in 2016. I'm going to have I don't have to play, obviously, and thankfully, but I'm going to have nightmares just thinking about some of those tee shot corridors that the players are facing this week. So I'm really interested to see how driving accuracy impacts scoring. I know if you just think about the U.S. Open last week, we thought that it would be a very pervasive issue, and it didn't end up mattering a whole lot because Bryson walked away after missing a bunch of fairways. So I'm thankful that we're going to be at a place where that's going to play into it a little bit more this week.
We've had the Performance Insights for a couple of years now. What has surprised you? What outcomes, once you get all the data, has surprised you the most?
I think just being able to dive more into the women's game week in and week out, you just get such a deep appreciation for how unbelievable these athletes are. Thinking about those tight tee shot corridors that I was talking about, I looked it up, and there are 95 women on the LPGA Tour this year hitting at least 70% of their fairways. Yeah. There are 3 men on the PGA Tour doing that. I mean, and that's a staggering difference in terms of the top of the sport and what they're able to do. I think a lot of the numbers being so close in terms of average proximity with wedges is almost identical to the PGA Tour. The putts make percentage is about the same from 5 to 10 feet. All the things that, just kind of confirm what you know watching these women, how unbelievable they are, that this is the top of the sport and it's elite championship play. And it's really cool to have the empirical evidence to kind of back that up.
Well, it's funny because Brandel and I have had this discussion. I said, women are much more accurate. And he said, well, how can you prove that? Maybe the fairways, need to be narrower to get more comparable because obviously the cone of distribution. And then I'm watching the first hole last week at the Men's U.S. Open where players are hitting irons off of the tee to find the fairway. But they were not hitting 70 or more % of those fairways. They still were missing it. Really, to your point, the numbers make the story when you can actually have the data to back up what your eyes see.
Yeah, for sure. And like the traditional metric of fairways hit is kind of a broad, old school type statistic, doesn't tell the entirety of the story. But when you really dig into the proximity numbers for the players from the fairway or the rough in the women's game and compare it to the men, it's extremely comparable. It's very close, almost identical in a lot of cases.
This has become a bit of a passion project for you, showcasing data and analytics for the women's game. Can you take us back to the beginning when you first started and what the landscape was like statistically for the LPGA?
It's come a long, long way, as you well know, from having covered this game for so many years. Just the availability, the accuracy, the depth to go back historically, the resources just simply weren't there in the past. And what KPMG's done in the last 4 or 5 years, building the resources needed to give these great athletes and tell their stories like they've never been told before in such great detail, it really just has been a transformational change in the way we're able to talk about these players.
And when it comes to Solheim Country Club specifically and the players specifically that will match up well with this golf course, we talk about, we think that this person will do well for these reasons and this person might do well for these reasons. But what does the data say? Who's going to do well here this week?
So if you look at major championship golf, whether it's in the women's game or the men's game, the thing that separates elite players is typically excellent approach play. Players who are able to repeatedly put themselves in the best positions over and over again to either make birdies or make easy pars and not put pressure on their short game. So I wanted to look at a combination of players who are extremely accurate off the tee, as I talked about here with those tight corridors, and then also can separate themselves with their approach play. There's 5 players on the LPGA Tour this season who are in the top 20 in driving accuracy and in strokes gained approach. Megan Kang is one of them. Rose Zhang is another. Ayaka Furuwe is another player who I think is a little bit underrated. She, by the way, has made more putts over 10 feet than anybody on the LPGA Tour this season. So thinking about her as breaking through with a win later this year, that might be something you look to. But that combination of being able to put yourself in position off the fairway and then the players like Rose, like Megan, who are able to really separate themselves with their approach play.
There's going to be a lot of people taking notes right now. What the odds say of those players.
I was going to say, what are you and Stacey Lewis cooking up for the Solheim Cup this year?
Well, we can't dive too much into those specifics, but look, it's honestly been the coolest thing I've ever got to do in my career, to be a small part of that team and contribute to the strategy. And the line I've used over and over again since last year is we were a half point from perfection. But that 6-2 record in the alternate shot, sweeping that first session, we think we've got the right formula. We think we've got a really good system in place, and I'm looking forward to continuing to hit up Stacey and talk strategy.
And without giving away secrets, what is it that you look for when you're picking, or when Stacey's evaluating the numbers that you're providing? Is it an alternate shot situation? What is it that without giving away too many secrets, that you're trying to dovetail together?
Well, the stats have their biggest impact when you go to alternate shot, because you are specifically picking a shot that a player is going to hit, right? Where if you're in better ball, you can end up kind of negating that a little bit. So that's where we can have the most impact in terms of fit and strategy. Just looking at the golf course, if a player is going to have more opportunities from a particular range with their approach shots based on the order they tee off, looking at the golf course and just trying to put the player in the best position possible. So, this player might have 5 of these approaches as opposed to 2 if she tees off first instead of second. And that way you can probably, maybe gain a quarter of a shot here or there. And I hope I have not dispelled too many state secrets.
So she's not watching.
No, this doesn't go to Europe. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, Justin, speaking of the impact that data can make, of course, there's so much to celebrate with the real-time shot level data that you're going to have with Champcast and all the things that you'll be able to offer in the broadcast this year. But in terms of where data is in the women's game, what would you like to see it continue to grow on, to continue to give even more data insights that are so important for telling these stories?
Yeah, the real-time statistics that we're having access to this week are going to make this the most comprehensive, detailed, real-time statistical display that we've ever had in women's golf, and I'm really excited to be a small part of that. I'd like to see that continue to grow, continued investment in a growing, booming, popular sport with an audience that's growing week in and week out. I think just more and more access to that live data is going to be more and more important as time goes on. But stuff like we're doing this week is a huge step in the right direction, something that just 5-6 years ago didn't seem possible.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you can think of your favorite Nelly Cordes stat right now, what is it?
Oh, man.
Or any favorite women's stat.
I dropped the fairways hit one earlier. I was pretty proud of that one. But, I don't have it right in front of me, but Nelly Cordes from the fairway this year, I believe, is hitting 86% of her greens in regulation, which is, I can't even wrap my brain around that. I think she's 3rd when she misses the fairway, 5th when she does hit the fairway, and 2nd overall in greens in regulation. But just that sheer...
Wait, she's 5th at 86%? Something like that?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh,
and by the way, she also makes the highest rate of putts from 10 to 20 feet. So, good luck, everybody.
Best wishes, yes. How does that compare to the men?
The highest men from the fairway, I looked this up the other day, it was 86. Xander Schauffele was 5th at 83rd, or 83%.
That's why I got Paige here to help me out.
Yeah, seriously. She's going to be providing data insights as well. Yeah, Justin, if you need a buddy to help you out. All right, well, Justin Ray, of course, we're so appreciative of your time and all of the performance insights that you're going to be providing to the players this week and to our broadcast and our viewers at home, helping to tell the story. So we appreciate you taking the time, Justin.
Thank y'all so much for having me.